here in Alpharetta, North Atlanta. Wanted to come to you and talk a little bit about these Superman trailers. James Gunn's been dropping them left and right, it feels like, over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. And we thought this past week, wouldn't it be fun to get everybody together, because we have a bunch of different opinions on this, and just check in with everyone, how they're feeling about what they're seeing. And so we thought, hey, a new trailer dropped on Friday. It's 30 seconds. Let's start there. Let's check it out.
You were out there helping them?
I thought I was.
They've always been wrong about me. I get scared, but that is being human. And that's my greatest strength.
Rated PG-13, only theaters July 11th.
What was that last thing?
That was a title card.
This guy here.
Oh, was that?
Before that.
This guy?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on the
That's
moon
where
with
you
a
go
dog?
get to the movie.
What is going on?
It's interesting how the dog was totally absent this trailer until
Until the very end.
I mean, I
It
guess
seems
it
like
is
they're
30 seconds,
definitely
but-
evolving what they're learning over the course of what's resonating with audiences, it would seem. All right, well, just to back up a little bit for those who may not be up to speed, I'm going to go and play the last full trailer we have. Any comments before I do?
The brow curl looks stupid.
I'm slowly inching toward. I'm looking forward to this more and more, despite a few hesitations I've got. I am getting kind of excited about it.
I am
I'm
too.
liking David a lot.
I'm going to make some snarky comments, but I am overall optimistic. Man of Steel gave me some. I mean, obviously that's not what this is, but I was very skeptical going into that, and I overall I liked it pretty well. So I'm going in with an open mind.
All right.
And lots of snark.
Snark. Here we go.
All right, do it.
Superman. The most powerful being on planet Earth. We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with.
Interviews, that's what they're calling it
you
now.
as a child. I'll kill them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue.
Buckle up.
They chose him. Let them die.
They don't tell you he broke that girl's neck.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Okay.
Okay.
I had not seen that. I like it.
I hadn't either.
Okay. Thoughts? Scott, you were quiet the last time. What do you got?
I'm still, I think the same concern that people were saying after the initial teaser from a couple months ago or whatever, all these different characters, how that's going to play out in terms of pacing and I mean, I'm just wondering about that. I'm skeptical. I think the overall tone sets right with me. Bright and kind of a hopeful vibe is what I'm getting, and I think that's something I think that's what the world could use right now. So that's kind of my level thoughts at this point.
Chris?
Just on first blush, I was like, well, which movie is this? I saw Neo and the Thousand Agent Smith. I saw something that looked like Lilo spitting fire. There were space aliens. Is it Lois Lane flying a spaceship? I mean, it's just like
Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Lois Lane is flying a
Space pod.
spaceship. Yeah.
they look like they ripped off the spinning arm thing straight from
Luther not flinching there was kind of
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool. That was cool. The
yeah.
blinking.
I don't know if that's cool or
interesting.
just they did it afterwards and they could have. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
I
walking
actually
across the
have kind of a
floor,
different
Eli.
yeah,
reaction
you're
to
right.
that. I'm like,
That's all
when I
green.
see no post, it's like, it just says to me that was done in a on a green set, and they didn't cue him right.
Right.
When
That's what I.
Okay, who's this guy?
the story
He's got on some kind of cool suit. He's carrying a dog, and he knocked his teeth out. It's like
He's
okay, so
expendable
Dog
henchman
flies
number
up, that's
2.
crypto.
probably a bad guy. Okay, now
Yeah,
we're
the
okay.
thing
Yeah, there's that. All
bothers
right.
me.
bounce off the camera lens.
Okay, find the
Yeah,
agent.
that-
Yeah, now we're cutting the ocean in half. We're
Moses?
cutting.
What?
We're cutting. Yeah, we're cutting Manhattan. in half.
I will say this. I've got strong opinions about it ever since the first day. They've gotten a little better, but the concerns are still there. A lot like Scott mentioned. I feel like ever since, those of us old enough to remember going to the theater and seeing it, Spider-Man 3 made the mistake of, arguably a mistake, you could argue otherwise based on profit or longevity of the stories, but like,
We're still talking about it, aren't we?
in a negative way, unfortunately. Sandman, Venom, and Green Goblin all in the same movie really made for a weaker film. It kind of diluted like the focus of the story that was there with the first and second, movies. And I feel like every single time, from what I can recall, that a movie tries to cram in almost with impatience all these different storylines and expect the audience to kind of carry all these things. I mean, there's characters. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. We got robots. We've got like a fire-breathing dinosaur, right? We've got
It's Godzilla.
the dog we haven't seen in
The
the
Matrix
cinematic side of
meets
this yet.
Marley and me.
Crypto. I mean, now a lot of people out there are going to get really upset and some defensive. I've seen people like, you almost wonder if they're like compensated for it, like fanboying over every single thing James Gunn says. James
Boy.
James says about and puts out a post. Oh my gosh, is that now? James Gunn's an incredible director, incredible storyteller, does incredible films, but it doesn't mean that like every single decision is gold, right? And so I remember thinking, gosh, there's like 6 characters, there's all these multiple villains, multiple protagonists, antagonists, all this stuff going on. Like you said, splitting of the sea. Lois is flying a spaceship. Superman's emotional and angry. That's something you're not used to seeing.
This
right?
summer, Superman saves the world from everything,
Including his emotions.
space aliens, Godzilla, Agent Smith, and a bald white man. All
Is
in
this a
one
toupee
film.
right I remember
and also,
the first time I saw this, I thought it was Mo from the Stooges. Like this kind
Seriously.
of haircut. I'm like,
Hey, Mo.
what?
It's
Hey, Mo.
like
Yeah.
it's like
It's
hair and
supposed to be
makeup.
Green Goblin.
But
Or,
isn't that's comic
Green
book
Lantern,
accurate
excuse me.
haircut for him.
Yeah,
right?
no, I was going to say all the nerds are going to come
Dude,
after us now for
I'm
hating
sure
on
they
it,
will, but the thing you
yeah.
got to remember, it just depends on what is the goal. Is the goal to be, to create this sort of cinematic universe that's going to last for 15 years, 20 years, or is it to like
Right.
make all the comic, guys happy? Is it to, overwhelm? Like he's carrying.
Wait, go
a
back to
green-
that. That's
I'm like-
totally Frozone and Bomb Voyage Love Child right there.
Right there. That's a good point. I mean, modern audience.
100%.
People are gonna
That's
associate
totally
it, right?
derivative. That's totally a derivative character right
So this
there.
is supposed to be Mr. Terrific. He came on the scene in 90. I looked this up, right? I'd never seen this guy
They
before.
even ripped off the name of Mr. T. This is crazy. This is crazy. Got a bunch of gold chains under his.
I don't
under
think
his
I just, but
costume
he
there.
came on the scene. I think in like 97, something like
It was
that.
the
And then-
90s.
Also-
but like the 90s comic book characters were popping up left and right. And
yeah,
center.
and
Why-
then, but Crypto's been there apparently since 1955 in the comics, big presence, and animated stuff, big presence. But he's been sort of left out of the cinematic side, right? He's been, I think, in Smallville last episode or something. There's little bits and touches there, but like that's a story in and of itself of Clark discovering, hey, there's another Kryptonian here, albeit in the form of a pet that I can come in contact with, and just a whole story there to like build that audience rapport with. But you're like expected to sort of accept his emotional state being completely different than you've ever seen, accept, people were up in arms about the suit fitting like a Guardian suit, like this baggy sort of,
We should totally do a Who Wore It Better episode. Like do Reeves, what's his name in this guy? And,
Yeah.
But I mean,
all those are great concerns for sure. And they're things I worry about too, especially the too many bad guy thing. But
yeah,
as a Reevist, as a purist from the Reeve era, I even brought my childhood lunchbox.
Dude,
with
yes.
Reeve.
tight.
I mean, dude, like
The Dymo
look at
label
that.
makes that
How much
thing,
will that
dude.
go for on eBay?
yeah,
there is the little thermos is in here, but I'm scared to open it. But
Still got them
what's
SpaghettiOs I left
interesting,
in there.
I
from
was
third
worried about
grade.
those personality changes too. Like Reeve was very cut and dry. He was this strong, but yet like loving, like just confidence as Superman. And he played the goof and the blundery so well and not cheesy. And I actually think, weirdly enough, Brandon Routh played the Clark so similar. It was eerie. He even sounded like Reeve. So I was a little put off maybe by the first impression of David Cornsweet, but the more I've seen it, the more I like that. I guess if he's in the company of Lois Lane, he can loosen up a little, and that one line that worried me at the end, the "Hey buddy, eyes up here," and then he takes off. I thought if he's talking to a human, I don't like that because he wouldn't talk to a human that way.
No,
but if he's talking to a
it's
monster,
bad
I
guy
love
or
it.
a
Bad guy.
monster.
I felt like it was a little bit. First of all, I got to point this out. I love this scene in the teaser. I did not like it in this trailer because I'm like, wait, what is this girl? It feels like the director just said, okay, stand here and I don't know, do something, walk in a line. I say director, I mean, whatever. She's like, okay, she's standing by this large truck full of hydrogen tanks or whatever. And then
Looking down.
Looks like
looking
she's
down,
oblivious
walking
to the fact that there's
like
this thing
there's a
behind her.
dinosaur and or whatever the heck it is right there. And you're just like what is she doing? Like,
don't assume.
Hey,
Maybe
kinda
she's
here's
dead.
what
I didn't like the shot. It just made no sense to me. Now, of
Here's
course, the
what you
story
don't
will
know:
explain
the
it.
Here's the
Dinolopoulos.
reaction speed of a sloth on Xanax or something.
Maybe she's a,
hearing impaired, though.
Maybe the Dinolopoulos is completely silent, and she didn't hear a thing until right there.
right. And maybe she's you know
And then he totally breaks her
she
neck.
can't hear. We don't know who she is. And then this guy's taunting Superman, and he's being goofy like Star-Lord right here. Like I'm doing important things.
but
man.
I don't
I'm like
hate
this
it like I
doesn't-
thought I would.
I thought,
it's
but
growing on
okay,
me.
I gotta say, guys, like I'm assuming we'd all agree. I don't know what this right here. This sort of
Okay, dog in a cape. What?
hold on, that's
what
crypto.
is going on?
Just gotta accept crypto there. I'm more concerned
Okay.
about we're now hitting the lens with the teeth. Like that part to me felt camp
It's
cheese.
straight out of
Yeah,
CW.
we don't like
I just a CW show all the way, clink clink. And I'm like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
no, that made me go. That's a jump the shark moment,
I
right
have
out
seen-
on movie number one.
I have seen things on the internet about how that's supposedly one of like a camera angle in the movie, a camera angle from one of Lex Luthor's drones.
Yeah,
So it's like
There's
there's
a
a
reason
reason
for
for
it,
the
I'm
camera
sure.
flying around and
It just-
things like
oh.
that. But
I also I feel like James Gunn knows better than the whole cramming of. He's a seasoned enough filmmaker
Yeah.
to
No, for
know
real.
the pitfall of cramming too many characters in those storylines and the pacing of all that into a film. So I'm almost wondering if this is almost like like I think of The Incredibles, where I don't know if it was the opening scene, it's sketchy, but like where there's multiple characters involved. And and there's just this kind of like it starts with a bang with all these different characters and the interplay with all of them gets resolved, and then it goes into kind of the main storyline.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that there's some editing, smoke and mirrors or whatever going on here to make us think that maybe, this is like they're going to be peppered throughout the entire movie, and maybe they are, but maybe it's just kind of, going to be maybe like an opening sequence that all gets resolved. They go back to doing their main duties, and then he's, for the balance of the film, dealing with Lex Luthor and all that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is the first 2 minutes of the film, and the rest of it is him and Lois talking at a cafe.
Let's hope.
Possible.
That's it.
I almost want to do a frame by frame. I almost want to just like step through and say, well, okay, stop. What is going on? Because we
Right.
didn't even
That's
get
a whole other pose there.
We didn't even get to the
like I love this
sideline.
shot. Like there's shots in the trailer that make me just lean in and go,
Oh, for sure.
that's some of the character driven stuff that just makes me so happy. Like this right here. This
Totally.
like, all this effort for this one connecting moment where he sees her and he's like, yeah, I see you. I'm here.
Hey.
No, not like that.
Sup,
but
girl?
I love how you ground these large action, set pieces here into a smaller, more intimate story.
Totally.
The freaking building is coming down, right?
Yeah, I'm
and then
in
you
on
and then
that.
you get down to this level of like this one person.
at the
matters.
very least, it looks like he got right what Man of Steel got wrong.
And I
Which is,
think
like,
I think
good
there's
word.
an
Level.
endearing quality and concern in a lot of the shots that just in Man of Steel wasn't played like that. I still, gosh, he's better than, but
No, he's way better than.
I still do not personally like this Lex Luthor. I know people disagree, heavily with that. I just feel like, to me, Lex was always a little older, a little more grizzled, a little more wear and tear, a little more experience, a little more nefarious. This guy feels like he's barely out of, who knows, college, and he's got all these. I just like a little
Dude,
bit of an
you know
older
who would have
Lex.
been? You know who would have been awesome is like Bryan Cranston. He would have made an.
He would have been
epic,
incredible.
oh,
I've
yeah.
always thought back in the day, I think his name's Mark Strong, would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But they never went that route. But is it Jesse Eisenberg? Is that his name from the
Mhm.
Man of Steel? I thought he was distractingly. He's an incredible actor, or he's good at in certain roles, of course. But like, he was distractingly bad as Lex for me. And I
I
could
think
never
this
get on
guy
board
would have
with
been scarier if they'd have gone full alopecia and deleted the eyebrows. He'd be much scarier, like NoHo Hank on.
it. Total like little psycho.
Yeah.
He just feels like he just moisturizes in the morning and gets up and does yoga, and then he's Lex in
Well,
the
he
afternoon.
might. He is
I just-
rich. I mean, he might.
He might. I mean, I just don't get it.
Well,
and
we're
then,
also
and then
a
I,
bunch of
Superman have a cold.
yeah.
Is that Rob Reiner? If that's Rob Reiner, the stock has gone
No,
way
And I'm
down.
biased here too. I mean, I love, honestly, for me,
Costner,
Costner checked the
dude,
box for me all day.
100%.
Jonathan Kent was amazing with Costner behind that character.
And now
I don't.
he's some
I-
fat
But
slob who's
the whole
probably
controversy behind people hating how he died in Man of Steel. What I liked about Superman 1 with Reeve is when his dad dies, it's a heart attack. So there's nothing
Right,
Superman
nothing
could
he
have
can do.
done,
right.
which I appreciate.
Keep
that.
going. We haven't even touched
Well-
the Cylon appropriation yet.
we gotta. We got to check out what's next for us here on tab number 3. What's behind door number 3, Clerk? Well, let's see. This is a little bit of a, hearkening back to what we're talking about here. Just a little bit more of a character-driven, story. It seems, of course, that James Gunn's going for here. Just to remind ourselves of kind of what we're all, many of us, minus Eli, are biased against, or
No, I
biased
raised Eli
towards.
right. He knows. He's
Yeah,
there.
I understand.
Why we're biased, I guess. Let's play it. Remind ourselves what we're talking about here.
Kal-El, you do not remember me. I am Jor-El. I'm your father.
Marlon freaking Brando. man.
Even though you've been raised as a human being, you are not one of them. You have great powers, only some of which you have discovered.
If a man gets older and he thinks very differently and things get very clear. And there's one thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
Yes.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you? Who's got you?
It's not a better way to meet
We're
Lois.
sitting on top of the story of the century here.
Who are you?
A friend.
You are revealed to the world, but you still must keep your secret identity.
Why?
Your enemies will discover their only way to hurt you by hurting the people you care for.
I don't know who you are. Just a friend from another star.
Is that how a warped brain like yours gets its kicks? By planning the death of innocent people?
No, by causing the death of innocent people.
Mind over muscle.
They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, I have sent them you, my only son.
Right there. There it is.
Boom. How many things did you have to focus on while watching that?
Dude, I was just chilling the whole time.
I was wondering where Mr. Terrific was.
One
personally.
One villain.
When your kid is
Oh,
hurting
jeez.
and there's nothing you can do.
Okay. So,
Dude, that helicopter scene, I remember, like, my dad took me to see this when I was a kid in the theater.
Yeah.
I wore my handmade Superman costume, which was way better than a store-bought costume.
oh,
Which
yeah.
was
Somebody
crazy
made it
because he
for me.
was 16
It was a little awkward.
Christmas
But dude, that
Day, right?
helicopter scene is the jam. That is the
Yes.
best reveal
There's
of his
so much
power
about this that
you could
Ever.
ever ask
Man,
for.
Donner just nailed it. I just
There's
feel
so
like,
much about this that is classic. The lighting, the scene in the barn where he opens the door. I mean, that's
Oh,
like
yeah. Oh, yeah.
that could be Ben-Hur right there.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh God, it's so good.
So good.
And it's all practical. Like they actually had to make that look
Yes,
like that.
exactly. They had a lot. I did some research on the budget and the profits for these films, and it's interesting. Like when you look at, it's 225 million estimated for the current Superman film. They got to make at least 400 to break even or
Right.
whatever. But Man of Steel, same thing, 225. I think worldwide gross was like 670 million, something like that.
Yeah.
But this film budget was 55 million, which in today's terms, it was the most expensive film ever made at the time, which is today's, adjusted for inflation, was like 260 million. But made adjusted for inflation like 1.4 billion. So, hand over fist more in profit. And of course, it's the one that launched all the films regarding superhero
totally.
stories, and one that we hold up against all the others up against. So
Mhm.
I love that, it's just timeless, and it just holds that principle of like what it means to be super, period, as cheesy as that might sound. I think,
Well, that's the whole thing that's been under assault. Like in the last 20 years, it's like, well, the good guys can't totally be good. They have to be like partially compromised, or they have to have some chink in the armor. They have to have some problems,
Which traditionally, like you want your main character to have a flaw, but Superman is kind of the exception to the rule almost.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah. I want this movie to succeed. I want DC to succeed. I just feel like there's still some semblance or element of like underlying impatience from the studio. It feels like there's a pressure to be like, James, we need a cinematic universe that works and brings in all the things by 2030, or whatever. It's like we need 15
Faster,
movies.
bigger.
Yeah, and I think you read about it. It says this is James Gunn's the beginning of him starting of the gods and monsters universe, and like the gods are like the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then the monsters are like the Authority and the these things that I forget the different, that big guess dinosaur thing or whatever. It just feels like, okay, I feel like Universal tried that. They tried, that's totally completely separate, but this idea of like these obscure characters being shoved in, and that was literally the monsters universe with Dracula and like Mummy and Wolfman and Frankenstein, and like it failed horribly, tons of money behind it. But I don't think this is what, personally, this is my opinion, just laying it out there, I don't think this is what people are asking for. It'll be entertaining. It'll be like Transformers 3, lots of stuff going on.
And I know James is watching. So James, I want to say this directly to you, babe. If you want people to love your movies and talk about how you destroyed the MCU and the DC, whatever that was, just release one movie every 2 to 3 years. People will like worship the ground you walk on. You will be hailed as the savior of film and cinema in the
He's
United
like,
States.
Chris, that's how long these take anyway. I can't release them faster than that.
Just keep it
Gotta
that way.
layer them up.
Well, he may make the subsequent films all AI, so
That's
just
true.
compare prompts.
Oh man. Well,
All right.
Figure.
I love this shot, man. This is so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
I'm sure that there's
Okay,
going to be
what-
more
what
little
is-
sub
They're
teasers,
going to the
micro
Fortress
teasers
of
dripping
Solitude.
out over the next
We're about to
couple
get
of
into
weeks.
the
so
Cylons.
we'll just have to ride this wave all the way up to the release.
we'll see
And
who's
then right
you
after
know.
the movie's out, we got to recap it.
Let's go around and place some bets here, guys. Like I say, the film's going to be profitable. I think it's going to come under a lot of criticism regarding it trying to do too much in too short a time frame. I can't hold on to all these things and care about these things and care about I feel like it almost comes across in the trailers like Superman is a co-star in his own film. But I think I hope I'm wrong. I have no, dog in that fight. I'm not precious about my perspective. I hope I'm wrong. But I do worry that James Gunn is making it a little too cheeky, a little too Guardian style, and moving a little too fast based on the studio's, sort of demands. But that's me. What do you guys got? Final
I think
word.
we're
Eli, you're the Gen Z guy. Well, lay it down, dude.
I have a very bold prediction that
Let's go.
I wouldn't put any money on this, but if it comes true, I'm gonna be hailed as a hero. I think this is a Force Awakens situation where it comes out and everybody's on board for the most part, right? And it's a huge success, and everybody takes off.
But then they make
and then
the
the
Last
next
Jedi.
subsequent movies
Are
just completely
They're
crash
just
the
going
whole
to turn
franchise.
up the suck knob with each
Yeah.
one. Yeah. I actually I think that's probably a pretty good bet.
And then you look back on this one, and you're like, actually, that wasn't that good in hindsight.
One thing
That's what
I
you
was
end up
encouraged by is they didn't throw any obvious bones to the culture wars or whichever side you're on, doesn't matter. That's all fine. But they didn't I didn't see anything
There's
that
no
looked
like agenda
pandery.
behind the
Yeah, and but I am waiting for him to have this one line.
Well,
in the
we still
movie.
don't know why Lois is flying the spaceship.
Yeah, that's
We'll
a whole
see.
thing.
That's a whole thing.
But I want him at
She
some
took
point.
Spaceships for Dummies.
Right,
you know.
yeah.
Read that on the toilet.
No, because they just
He bit
uploaded it
his
into
face.
a brain
Did you
because
see
we
that?
got the agent.
Yeah.
We got the agent Smith
Look at it.
thing.
Look at Crypto, dude. He's gnawing his face, bro.
Wow.
He rips the helmet. I didn't notice that. That's how he got the helmet off right there. Boom. And then boom.
Yeah, you're not going to
Okay.
get to do that in the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do
All right,
want,
my
at one
prediction
point, I want him
is-
to say, there's not room in this town for the 43 of us.
Okay. Andy.
My prediction. I like Eli's analysis. I'm there. I think Superman on the whole. I think we're going to walk away going, David Cornsweet is a pretty darn good Superman. Different than Reeve, but
But is
maybe
he going to get
carrying
screwed
forth some
like
of the
Ralph
spirit.
did with the script?
I think the gun-isms will be true, but I think we're going to end up more or less liking him as Superman. And I mean, at least from what I've seen of her, I like her as Lois way better than
Amy Adams or
no brain fart Reeve,
Margot Kidder?
Margot
Kidder?
I'd
I
never
like
liked
Margot
Margot. And I think
Yeah.
I'm going to like her a lot better. So
Back
I'm
up-
going to give it an overall positive opportunity.
Is this the Martian Man? I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
don't
what's
know.
going
What is
on in
happening
this?
with
Yeah, we
this?
got
Feels like
space, we
this
got
feels
space octopus.
it
Like,
feels like there's this guy. Okay, I don't know.
and
Sorry.
wait, he's got
Whoever's watching this.
a green baby Yoda in his hand. This
I was
is
like,
ripping
this-
off
this-
everything.
Maybe.
I'm sure this. Yeah, this is I don't know the comic or whatever the heck.
Or
going
is
on
it
here.
the idol from the beginning?
It's like
of
a
Raiders?
whole. It's a whole 15 frames, and I already want a plush one.
I'm like, I feel like this is it Martian Manhunter? Is this like
And
some
then
big giant hairy
all those
tarantula?
cubes-
What the heck?
All those cubes. That's all. That's all
This is-
Fortnite.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is Adam
So-
Sandler like Pixel. Scott, what do you got, man? I know we're
renders.
How many modern films have had frames in the trailer that you never see in the theatrical release,
too many.
or even in the
Yeah.
extended, streaming version? It's just like stuff that they thought would be impactful and maybe even generate some controversy for people like us. Just to kind of pique interest and get us talking and doing these kind of trailer reviews. And then you go in and like, oh, okay, so there was a little bit of bait and switch.
Yeah.
I do think that I did read. I forgot to mention that apparently there's some crossover between Guardians and this movie. Like they're going
course
to have
there
some
is.
sort of cameo, or it's something with like the
They got every other
Galaxy,
movie made in
whatever.
the last.
I don't
20
know.
Years.
I didn't get into it too much, but I saw that as being a thing that may happen. So there's Guardian voices either play some of the characters, or there's going to be representation of those characters and some sort of crossover, which did happen in the comics. There was times where DC and Marvel overlapped. Yeah, it's interesting. Look at Lois.
We need a
Just
Deadpool
anybody can
cameo.
do it, right, Chris?
Right. Yeah.
Sit there, buckle up.
Yeah. These things are obviously just meant to be pushed and pulled, and it makes the whole thing work. Clearly,
It's like
we've all
driving
played a
lawn,
video game. We
driving a
got the
lawnmower.
kids. We got the kids doing
And
Iwo Jima. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Go back to the guy with the bad haircut, because I just realized something.
Kids doing Iwo Jima is a wild statement.
But was it not?
No, it was.
Did I pass it? I don't even know
it is.
where's Mo at, by the way.
Yeah,
I hope his name is Mo Hal Jordan or something.
no, when you
Hal
find it,
Mo Jordan.
when you find it, he looks like the love child of Mo and Khan. So we got to pull some Star Trek in
I
here.
don't know where it is.
Also, why are Frozone's
he
explosive?
is.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is.
See, look at that. Look at that. It's Mo and
You're
Khan.
right.
That's Nathan Fillion, right?
Mo
It
Khan.
is, yes.
Yeah.
That's his name. His
Great.
name's Mo Khan.
Look, the bottom line, I think this looks bussin', no cap,
No, Kevin.
for real. For real.
You worked
All
it
three
in.
of those. You sure?
Didn't he write Nathan?
Pretty cool.
Nathan, what's his name? I feel like he's been lobbying to play this character for a while. Might be making that up, but I feel like
He's good friends with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Like, personally.
because
just
he
great
he wanted to be in Uncharted as well. They made a whole short film with him and the dude. Is it Lang? Stephen Lang from Avatar. Anyway,
Wait,
he's awesome.
Is
I
that
love-
Nathan Fillion?
It is, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Just
He's
want to
great.
fix his hair.
Missed it with the
Yeah,
haircut.
his hair,
Can't
though.
stand the freaking haircut. Or what?
Hair and makeup,
toupee.
fired, jail,
just
straight
I
to
don't
jail.
care if it was from the comics. It looks like trash.
They've never been too literal anyway.
Wait. I want to know why Frozone's explosive orbs are wearing chastity belts. That makes no
Hey, at
sense
least
to
they
me.
didn't give him the broccoli haircut.
Go back
Hold
go back
on,
to
hold on.
Frozone.
You notice
go,
Clark-
go back to Frozone.
Hold on. Clark was not in the trailer this time.
They look like
They look like
I'm
Starship Enterprise.
I'm gonna pull another.
Nope.
Another reference. Those
That's
look
from
like
Star
minions.
Wars.
Those look like minions
Surveillance
with
droids.
chastity belts.
Surveillance
Is what
droids.
that looks like.
I gotcha.
A surveillance droid also,
Oh,
or
no.
also the training droid in Star Wars.
Eric,
in the
go ahead and
movie
turn down.
Falcon.
Go ahead and turn down Chris's mic, Eric. Would you?
I've expended all my words.
Okay, on that note, that's all we got for today. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time as we, discover how this film actually does. When's it dropping, Chris? Did you learn that much from the trailer?
July 11th.
There we go. Awesome. All right. Until next time.
Road trip.